So we're talking today about the supply shortages, and certainly let me know the supply shortages that you're running into out there at 204-780-6868 or hal at CJOB.com. I was reading about a wine bottle shortage on the weekend, so I reached out to Shrugging Doctor Beverage Company. Willows Christopher joins us now. Willows, good morning.
Good morning, Hal. Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot for doing this. I appreciate it. Are you still Winnipeg's only winery?
To my knowledge, yes, we are.
Cool. We've talked before, and I reached out to you and I said, hey, wine bottle shortage, true? And you said, yes, but that's not all. So what are some of the challenges, the supply challenges that you're facing right now at Shrugging Doctor?
Yeah, so I mean, the shortages have been pretty much extending to everything. I guess it's a combination of COVID-19, and then probably boats getting stuck in the Suez Canal didn't help anything either. But my wine bottle price baseline has gone up, 20-30%. Our corks have doubled in price. The seals for the wine bottles have doubled in price. Aluminum cans, there's a shortage as well. We have some vodka sodas and seltzers and stuff that go in aluminum cans, so we've had trouble getting those. And not only has the price gone up on a lot of things, but also the shipping time has increased significantly. So where, you used to be able to get a pallet in, a few weeks, now it's a couple months.
And so all of that, it makes your business tough to complete.
Yeah, I mean, like manufacturing in general, right? Like you have to buy a lot of, inputs from different places and then assemble them and then sell them, right? So when costs and time go up, it's more difficult to run the business for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to know, and we'll get back to the issues that you're dealing with, the shortages. Did you see during the pandemic more of your product being purchased? Because we heard that a lot of people were drinking more wine through the pandemic. They were home more, maybe they were stressed out a little more, glass of wine in the evening, to kind of calm the nerves. Did you see an increase in business during the pandemic?
I wouldn't necessarily say increase, but definitely a shift. Like we saw we're on delivery services like Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats. So we saw our delivery volume go significantly up. But then obviously with bars and restaurants being closed, we're not selling, to them, and breweries in the city aren't selling their kegs to the restaurants if they're closed. And we still haven't been able to go back to sampling our products because of the pandemic. So, that was a great way for local businesses to kind of show people and let them taste and experience new products. So we still haven't been able to go to that. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, we got to wait for the dust to settle before we can kind of tally up everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And so are you able to produce as much wine and other beverages then as you want right now? Obviously, the cost is higher, so I'm sure you have to pass that along to the consumer. But are you able to produce as much wine now, or are you having to pull that back because of the supply shortages that you mentioned?
Yeah, we're hoping so. It's starting to really kind of hit us now because obviously with a lot of the wines we make out of Manitoba-grown grapes and the wines that we make out of local fruits, we all usually age those for about a year, 12 months to 18 months. So, what I'm selling right now is all last year's product that we've made. But now that we're kind of, the pandemic's been going on for a long time, we're starting to see where we have to make a new batch for 2021 and, the price went up by, 4 times or whatever. So, hopefully things kind of correct themselves and get back to normal because I don't know, how much more of this kind of stuff manufacturing can take.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we're hearing, depending on what the item is, middle of next year before things might get back to something close to normal.
Yeah. Well, and then at least for us, the drought this year didn't help either. Like the cost on my raspberries and my cranberries and my strawberries are all significantly up just because of bad harvests this year because of the huge heat wave we had in the summer.
Mm-hmm. I think you said in a text message on the weekend to me, some of your fruit costs are 4 times higher.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's it is what it is. Like I understand the growers. If their harvest is a quarter of what it used to be, then they have to sell it for 4 times to make the same amount of money, right? So, I empathize with the farmers and that we work with, but it's hard to pay 4 times the price for something and essentially reducing our margin by 4 times.
And so have you had to raise or do you anticipate having to raise your price for a bottle of Shrugging Doctor wine then based on what you're dealing with right now? I know that, some of the fruit that's fermenting is last year's crop that maybe didn't cost more, but wine bottles and corks are costing more. So, what do you do, right? As a winemaker, you have to pass those costs on, I would imagine.
Yeah, ideally not. I grew up in Winnipeg. I don't want to pay $30 for a bottle of wine. And I think we're at kind of a nice balanced level right now where we're getting a fair price for our product. But, what do you do, right? Like if things continue this way and it looks like the government support for businesses is kind of over at this point. So it's like, what do you do? If prices don't go back down, then I guess we have to increase prices, but I'm trying to avoid that if I can.
I think everybody is. I think, you point out that businesses really hate to do that, but at some point you have to look at it seriously. I'm curious, we've seen such a swing. You talk about a shift or a change, a swing. We've seen such a swing further toward buying local. You're a local beverage company. Are you seeing that support as well, Willows?
Yeah, I think there's really been kind of a mentality shift with a lot of people. We do a ton of farmers markets. Even through the winter, we're at the St. Norbert Farmers Market every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2. And we see a lot of people come out there because, these supply delays are hurting the consumer too, right? They buy a toy on Amazon for their kid for Christmas. It might not arrive in time because everything's delayed. So being able to go down to a farmer's market and buy stuff from local, makers not only helps, the local businesses, but also helps the consumer get a better product quicker and right there too. So I think there has been a big shift in people coming out and realizing that if they don't support local businesses, there won't be any local businesses, right?
Yeah. Willows, thanks a lot for doing this, and you got a great product. I'll encourage people to try it out. It's available, as you mentioned, the farmers market, but it's also available out there at some retailers, and then your website is shrugdoc.com, SHRUGDOC.com. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Al. I really appreciate it.
Willows Christopher, Shrugging Doctor Beverage Company. It really is Winnipeg's only winery, and it really is a great beverage company, and they've got some really cool products. So I would encourage you to check them out. You wine people out there, if you haven't tried Shrugging Doctor. Final half.